Hi guys, Dave Zardel again. I'm just going to take you through your quiz for those of you who just want to go over the quiz again. So take you through the questions and explain kind of the answers in case you weren't sure of what the answers were. So the first question was, which type of variable is education, where the respondent asked to choose their highest education level? And you had to say which one of these it was. Ratio would have a natural zero, so it's not that. Interval would be in order, but there would be equal amounts between each one. Categorical would be just putting them into categories, but with no order at all. So these are in categories, but there is an order between post-school, college, graduate school, etc. So the correct answer there was obviously ordinal. Your second question, the answer was ratio. Which type of variable is earnings per share? Remember, your earnings per share could be zero. Always ask yourself the question, if you're getting a question like this, ask yourself, could it be zero? If it's zero, then it's a ratio straight away. Your third question, what is an appropriate measure of spread for variable education where the respondents are asked to choose between their different levels, which were all these type of things? And with this one, the interquartile range is the measure that one would use. And remember your interquartile range. In the previous lecture, if you're not sure, I showed you how to calculate that. Question 4, if you have a median of 100 and an interquartile range of 30, then which one of the following is true? And what we do with the interquartile range, so remember the interquartile range gives you 50% of the data. So there we are, half of the data. And also what you do with the interquartile range is you take the 100 minus the 30 to get the bottom end, 100 plus 30 to get the top end. And that's how come we get this 70-30. So that one would be your correct answer. Question 5, you are in a manufacturing business and are interested in testing and controlling for the amount of chocolate put into a cone. Anyway, you can read through that whole question, but the one machine gives you an average of 10.08, but there's a standard deviation of 3.1, meaning that's what it normally gives, but it could give an extra that, so it would be over 13, or it could give 7 because it's 10 minus that, in fact 6 point something. The other one would give you an average of 10, but as you can see, it would be just over 11 or just over 9. So it's much, with the standard deviation small, it's closer to what this one is. And then it asks the questions. Your old injector was closer to the desired average, so it should be preferred to the new one. Yes or no? And the answer is no. Why? Because there's a huge deviation. So that's not what you want. We don't want it because it's closer. We want it together with the deviation. The old injector had a higher standard deviation, which means they're more likely to be accurate. Again, that's incorrect. The new injector has a lower standard deviation, which makes it more accurate. Yes, the lower the standard deviation, the closer it will be to the mean each time. The new unit has a higher average for chocolate injection, but this can be adjusted, yes. The new injector has a lower standard deviation, less accurate, which is less than, and that's again no. So your answers would have been those two for question 5. When we look at question 6, you're using the Likert scale. For each of these statements, what is true or false? Using the mean as a measure of centrality is fine, as 1 and 5 balance out the variable. So what we got over here is you did a proposal to merge of a company. Most people answered either 1 or 5, so this is what we call bimodal. So it would go up, down, and then up again. And if we just got the average, we would get a number, but that number wouldn't reflect the 1s or the 5s. So that's kind of a bad measure to use. So this sort of distribution is what we call bimodal. A mode is the highest point. When it's got the 2 points like that, it is bimodal. And this one would be false. Using the mean would be inappropriate as a representative central measure. Yes, so that one's true. It's inappropriate because it's giving you a figure that doesn't reflect either. Using the standard deviation would make sense? No. Using an interquartile range? No. Using a median would be better? No. So for this particular question, those were the answers we were looking for.